Hi and welcome back to Joe Talks Cars, and welcome to another video. As you can tell, I'm back in the Cayman. The Cayman is finally back on the channel. It's been absent for around a week due to some work that I had done, and I wanted to touch on the cost of that work. You'll have recently seen in the community tab, I did post up saying the car has financially ruined me yet again, and that is quite true actually. A lot of people thought it was a reliability issue, and it's not a reliability issue, but it still was a huge bill for just what I would consider to be general maintenance. Before we get on to the bill and talk about how much this car has financially ruined me for, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that has supported this channel over the last few years. I started this channel, I think about 1.5 years ago now, and some of you have been there from the start, and I just want to say a massive thank you to every single person that's taken the time to watch my videos, comment, give thumbs ups, and ultimately subscribe to the channel. It means such a lot that all of you look out for my videos popping up and watch them all the way through to the end. It really does help, and the fact that I am now monetized means the more views I get, the more videos I can make, and so on and so on. I've been given some great opportunities, one of which is starting tomorrow. So by the time this video goes out, in fact, while this video is being published, I probably will be at an Audi press drive event. It's hard to put into words how excited I am about this, and it's through all the support that you lot have given me over the years which has led me to being able to do an Audi press drive event. I'll be test driving some of Audi's latest models, giving my thoughts on it, and documenting the whole day so you can see exactly what I've been up to, but I'm super excited for it. It's gonna be a very, very early start. I'm actually on my way to work now, and I finish at 10:30 tonight, so a 4 AM start after a 10:30 finish at my actual day-to-day job. It's pretty rough indeed, but anyway, I'm really, really looking forward to it. So excited. So, the Cayman. It went in for its MOT, and I didn't really think a lot of it. Everything on the car seemed to be working just fine. I have no concerns over the brakes, over the tyres, all the bulbs were working. Everything looked and felt fine. So when it went in for its MOT, I naively thought, this is going to be okay, it's going to pass, come straight back out. I sent it in about a month early for its MOT. I just wanted to get organised, and I didn't want any worries about it failing. So I just thought, get it in, get it sorted. Due to the way that MOTs work in the UK, if your car fails its MOT, you can't carry on driving it, even though the MOT is technically valid for another month, which is really, really annoying, because that means you might as well put it in on the last day of your MOT. There's no advantage to getting it in early, really, other than giving the garage a good heads up for any work it needs doing. There's just no advantage to that anymore. So anyway, I dropped the car off, naively saying, I'll pick it up later. It was in for an 8 o'clock MOT. And then the garage rung me. Unfortunately, it had failed its MOT. And I was quite surprised to hear that it failed on broken springs. So not just one broken spring, but I'd broken all 3. So 3 of my 4 springs were broken. How I didn't feel that, I do not know. 3 of the 4 springs were destroyed and needed to be replaced. So a lot of you will be thinking, well, you could have just gone for lowering springs at this point. It was quite a cheap option, was to get some lowering springs, but due to my driveway being on an angle like this, and it already being dug up once just to allow this car to go on it, I can't have a car any lower than this. So that wasn't an option. I had to go down the original spring route, and they're quite expensive. Like, they're not crazy money, but they're not cheap. So the garage I use is an independent Porsche specialist. He does all German cars, but he has a keen interest in Porsches. I'll leave the links in the description for the garage. Highly recommend him. He's a really, really decent guy, very trustworthy, and he doesn't charge crazy amounts of money. He was able to source the parts from Porsche themselves. There wasn't really anywhere else online that supplied these springs in pairs. So when it comes to the cost of that, £186 plus VAT for the rear springs as a pair, and £210 as a pair for the front. It doesn't seem like a lot of money, but these sort of bills really do start to add up. That, on top of the cost of the MOT, resulted in a bill, including VAT, of £937. So a lot of you will be thinking, that's not as bad as I thought. That video was clickbait. There's no way it's financially ruining him again. But that's £1,000 dropped onto an MOT. Totally unexpected. I thought the car was running perfectly fine, and I didn't really expect it to fail its MOT. So for it to fail its MOT and cost me nearly £1,000, it is a bit of a shock. Again, when you think about the price I paid for the car, that is getting on for 10% of the value of the car just on an MOT. So I think this does really highlight an issue with owning an old Porsche. It doesn't put me off owning the car, but it does make you think these cars can be bought relatively cheaply, but the bills can be huge. When was the last time you heard of someone with like a Ford Fiesta or a Vauxhall Corsa with £1,000 MOT bill if the car wasn't actually that bad? £1,000 bill on a Fiesta would suggest the car was totally destroyed and needed most of the work, most of it rebuilding. This is just routine maintenance. 3 springs on a car. That's all it was. I obviously did all 4 because, well, the other one was probably on its way out anyway. But yeah, that just goes to show how expensive these cars can really be. And yeah, it did financially cripple me for a little while. I'm not a wealthy man, and YouTube doesn't pay me all that well. It helps to run the car, but it certainly doesn't give me enough to pay for bills like that. So it was a bit of a sad day, but I am super happy to have the car back, and I'm glad to report it feels quite different. So I don't know how long my springs were broken for. I'm quite ashamed that I didn't notice. I recently took the car to the Buttertub Pass, and honestly, it felt perfect. There was nothing wrong with the car. It handled really well, it didn't make any weird noises. But then thinking about it, there is a noise that it did have that has now disappeared. So I had a squeak coming from the rear left of the car. It sounded like sort of plastic rubbing. It sounded like part of the boot lid or something like that. It was just an annoying sort of squeaky rattle. And I'd often like lean around and try and sort of smack it and try and stop it, and nothing ever worked. I've had a look at the panels to see if they were loose, and I couldn't work it out. I just assumed it was due to the large boot lid causing this squeak. That squeak's gone now, so I could only assume it was actually coming from the rear suspension, just coming from the spring, you know, swiveling around inside its mounting point because it was broken. So yeah, the car does feel quite a lot different. It doesn't ride any higher. I thought it would, because obviously losing a chunk of a spring off each side should, in theory, lower the car. Hasn't made it really look any different. It has made it ride a lot better though. The car feels a lot smoother, a lot more planted, and doesn't have that annoying squeak. So I'm really, really happy with how the car has come back. But I think this video just highlights how expensive these cars are to run. Some of you watching this video will think, well, £1,000 on a Porsche is actually not that bad, and maybe it isn't. But for someone like me, that is quite a lot of money. And when you're not expecting it, it kind of hurts, stings a bit. The last time my Golf GTI went in for its MOT and needed a spring, I think it cost about £50. So it does show the difference in Porsches, and so much of that value is in the parts. What I would advise any of you to do, like I have when owning an old Porsche, is expect the huge bills. Expect that it can go for its MOT and come back with an absolutely massive bill, especially when you don't even think anything's wrong with the car. What I would advise you to do is find a local independent specialist, as I have, and then they don't charge you the earth. I thought I would just do this video to give everyone an update on the Cayman, why it's cost me loads of money, and yeah, just explain it really, and also take the time to say thank you to everyone that supported the channel over the years. The channel seems to be growing really, really nicely, but a lot of you that watch my videos regularly are not subscribed. I think it's something crazy like 85% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So I'd urge anyone that hasn't already hit that subscribe button, please consider hitting it. It won't cost you anything, but it will just mean you won't miss a single upload. And if you want to keep watching my videos, it really will mean a lot. I've got so many huge plans with this car, so many huge plans with the channel. And like I said earlier, things and opportunities are coming along for me now. with these Audi press drives and God knows what else that the future holds, this channel's only going to get bigger, and it's free to watch. So please, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please consider doing that for me. It would really mean so much. Right, so now we've covered the bill, I think I'm going to sign this video out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.